perfect tradition.
Well, I was gonna ask Michael a quick question real quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I swapped over.
Oh, well, I will ask you after the game, Michael, because that's what professionals do.
Okay. Does it pertain to this game?
No, the next game.
Got it. Oh, a little spoiler, a little tease.
Yeah.
Next game.
You can talk about that if you want. I mean, what do I know?
The next game that we're running, you mean?
What game are we running?
The one after On Gilded Tides is over?
Is that such a thing?
Believe me. There have been many times where it's like, this could just kind of go on forever. But no. After On Gilded Tides is over, when we all take a lovely little stroll into the cursed village of Barovia.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were like for sure doing that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay.
Once we hit the finale, I'm going to set the fucking thing up on Roll20 and we'll get going.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I hope that we
for
take at
anyone.
least a little bit of a break. Thank you, Marina,
maybe.
for the raid.
Thanks.
We're getting started here because it's on Gilded.
Not at the end of our session.
Holy
That's cool.
shit!
I know.
We're getting started. It's that time again. It is that time for what is it again? On
Gilded Tides?
Gilded
Game we've been running for over a fucking year.
It has been
True.
over a year.
I was just
We've
waiting for
grown.
Michael to say it in the funny voice because Michael has a soundboard now.
Oh no, I've stopped using that. That was pretty much just for last time we played.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesteryear.
Ever since I fucking installed the goddamn thing, my Sea of Thieves isn't working anymore with my microphone.
Oh,
Weird.
so that's probably why.
That's what it had, but I can't like change it. I don't know what the hell's going anyway.
You can uninstall it.
Could uninstall it, but I did pay $30 for it.
Oh.
I'll have to fuck with the settings and see what
The
it is.
answer is they're
Sea of
not
Thieves.
installing it.
Welcome to On Gilded Tides, our 5th edition pirate adventure that is kind of piratey again, just in time for it to fucking end. My name's Michael. I'm the Dungeon Master. I was just about to like do my plugs. We were done.
See you guys next week.
See you guys next time. Yeah, but no, we are in book 5, the final chapter of On Gilded Tides. This is book 5, episode 2. So this is session 62.
Nice.
Yes. Over a year we've been doing this bullshit. Who wants to tell me what the heck happened last time? It's been a minute, but
Choir
bonus
came back.
points if you remember.
Fire back.
Choir came back.
Woohoo.
He's naked.
Cat came back
Naked
the very
and
next
afraid.
day.
Thought he was a
And he
goner.
waddled away. Waddle.
June and Oro got married. That was cool. Or
Yeah,
not married, but
technically.
like they became
But, like,
partners.
married.
Yeah.
We
Just,
did.
you know,
It was-
they don't really
Well,
call
we
it
made it official.
They don't have any legislature for that yet.
The group,
Yeah.
post killing the Kraken, had a little downtime. And so in that downtime, we had a couple of things happen. For example, somebody got a new body. Specifically, we encased the jelly in some glass.
Some glass and metal, yeah.
Some glass and metal. So Keaton came out with a new body. Jude and Oro got married officially, and or at least got the approval to do a fucking. So
Yeah, we got
Yes.
the approval. So now there's probably
They got the
wait,
hall
never mind.
pass.
PG 13, I guess.
there was
What game is this?
there was permission granted
It's Monster Camp.
to do some fucking.
You could romance a plant monster in a snurson.
And we took the remains of the Kraken, specifically the Kraken's blood, and used it specifically to bring back the individual whose original blood summoned the Kraken in the first place. And that was our lost cleric named Choir, who's Taylor's character, who died back in book 1.
Tragically.
So it was an unfortunate event. But he's back now, and he has an arm, and he can see.
He took a
A
bath.
face, too.
He doesn't look as Goomba-y anymore, which I thought was the biggest loss.
Listen.
It's
It's our greatest gain.
But seriously, his half of his face was like skull and gold.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like he took a bath. He got some plastic surgery. He's good as new.
Yes. So that happened, and then finally, V got to find out, got to go to a Goliath village
Yeah.
up in the snowy mountain bits, and Marianne took his clothes off and did not have fun times with that. Instead, sent him up to go up a mountain to go talk to a statue, and the statue came to life, and it was like that scene in Hercules where before Go the Distance happened.
It was in the middle of Go the Distance.
It was in the middle of Go.
The song is broken up by a 4-minute scene, and then they finish it.
Oh, really? My brain is just...
It's a
Never
mess.
seen Hercules.
Well, there's a
What?
scene, there's a scene in Disney's Hercules where Hercules is wondering, man, why am I so different? I'm like Superman, but like, I don't know why. And then he goes into a shrine that has a statue of Zeus, and then the statue of Zeus turns to life and tells him, "You're my son, my boy!" And then he's like, "You gotta go be a hero, because if you're Greece's greatest hero, you can become a god again, and you can hang out with the fams." And Hercules is like, "Now I have my purpose. I am on my way."
That's what V sang the whole way in a fever dream.
And so,
Because V was hypothermic half the fucking time.
so that happened, but it was V meeting a Goliath god.
It was a storm giant god.
A storm giant god who basically was a statue, came to life, said, "You're not my boy, but you're close enough."
You're my sharpest tool.
and basically just said, "You did good, but you got more to do. Okay, bye now.
Bye bye.
Go make Dad, not Dad, proud.
Go make me proud." And then he electrocuted V and sent him down the mountain.
And that somehow sent him all the way back down to the mountain.
He just respawned.
Oh, yeah, true.
He fucking
He
died.
did, yeah. He died and respawned.
at the last checkpoint. So, and so that's it. That's all the highlights.
Marianne was super excited.
Yeah, she was very excited. Clearly, it went well, and that is kind of where we ended it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any little details they want to throw in? I think we covered pretty much everything. I think it was pretty much it. Yeah. We got to see the best character ever, Father Solove. He came back. You know, he did a fun.
Yeah, I guess he helped.
He did bring Choir back.
He did help, and he has gained a lot of power and influence and relocated, and we're getting very Catholic churchy like, which makes my future character very pleased. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that was basically the whole session. Everybody take a point of inspiration for that.
Give it to Tewa.
It's yours. You can give it to whoever you fucking want.
I know. I have like one marked on count sheet already, so I'm just like.
All right. Yeah. So let's just
jump into it.
Let's just jump on in.
I'm on my way.
We begin as we often do, in darkness, and we hear very softly a voice. Quiet.
What?
Are you all right?
Presumably he was asleep.
Yes.
For 10
kind of-
days.
Hold on, let me
We're
let
not
the
far
demon
off.
Let me exercise.
Well, because like everyone was on the ship, and we took the 10 days to get to V's Goliath village, right?
Right. Again, time is a little squiffy.
Yeah.
But Choir, you awaken in a bed, in a small pleasant room, with Trinity sitting at your bedside.
Yes, I'm fine. Just not used to all this. And he'll kind of gesture to his new arm and kind of move his new wings.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sensory overload in a way.
Yes, I'd imagine after the ceremony you were quite fatigued. You slept for a while. But we're safe. We're on fair guard.
I where?
You remember
Remind me.
the island, the half orcs.
The Orc Island, yes, where Oslin carved that fake god on the beach, yes.
Yes.
And he will sit up, kind of warily looking around as he does so.
No, don't move too quickly. Father Sullivan, this would take some time to get used to.
Well, being corporeal can't be that hard again, right? And he'll kind of offer like an unsure smile.
Right.
Go ahead.
How do you feel?
Tired, disassociative a bit, but I'll get over it. I'll get over it. I have people to talk to, right?
Well,
A
yes,
lot's
in
presumably happened.
Yes, in your own time. I just thought it might be easier to start small.
With just you?
Yes, well, it's been nearly a year.
Only a year. Time moves slow when you're dead, I guess.
We tried to get you back as soon as possible, but we had to hunt that beast that Ebonmain spawned to do it. It turns out hunting a kraken is not easy work.
Trinity, my dear, time is really nothing. I mean, look, I mean, not to say I didn't have faith in you all, but I figured I was just dead, so being alive at all is quite the welcome surprise. You did well, so don't fret, okay? And he will kind of ruffle her hair a little bit with his new hand.
Yes, all right.
I haven't done that in a while.
No.
And he will just lean forward and hug her and kind of like bonk his forehead against hers gently.
Yeah, and she will kind of receive it, but it's a little awkward, almost a little hesitant, as she kind of, lets you settle back onto the bed, and she says, when you fell, when we last spoke, I know we weren't on the best of terms, but
he'll kind of lean back and cringe a little bit. Yes, I wanted to address that. I know death doesn't rectify everything I've done or tried to do, but I think there's some stock in the fact that he'll kind of flutter his wings a little bit, like just kind of stretch them out again a little bit. My wings are wide again. And I've been chosen by a true god. I mean, I'm not perfect. I think that I'm truly being given a second chance, Trinity.
in many ways I feel the same way. I've moved farther from the Morning Lord. I know, it's hard to believe, but...
He'll snort.
Just
I always told you it was full of shit.
You just come back, let's not start blaspheming already.
He'll roll his eyes.
Father Sullivan
I'm not-
punches a hole on the fucking side of the ship.
Look, yes, the power of the Morning Lord brought me back, and I do respect that and appreciate it. However,
It wasn't just the Morning Lord.
I was pulled out by the Raven Queen herself. So,
I'd imagine that was Tewa's doing then.
she said that I could be of use. I'm sure it most definitely had to do with her cleric's influence.
Yes, well, but you'll meet them. It's a very long story as to how they came to join us, but
Yeah, I think I saw a plant.
yes, there's about 50
snake?
episodes of backlog. You can listen to it later. No, but she will say, but yes, of course, all in our time. We have a bit of time now, it seems, and I thought it would be nice. Well, and she kind of like leans back to the door and like kind of gives it a few knocks. And Cown, you on the other side, know that that's your cue.
He's been listening this whole time, hasn't he?
Oh, of course. I mean, probably.
Yeah. He kind of smirks. And his tail will actually nudge open the door because his arms are full. Because he has two...
Babies!
They're borderline toddlers at this point, aren't they?
Yeah. They're kind of getting there.
Yeah. And kind of will turn into the room and he kind of smiles. It's like... You probably missed them while you were coming to be once more.
No.
I know, it's your worst nightmare. But you have to
My
live with
worst
it.
nightmare? I've always wanted to be an uncle.
Oh, thank God he didn't say you fucked my sister.
Yeah. Count breathes a slight sigh of relief.
He'll give Trinity probably the brightest smile you've ever seen on Quar's face.
Trinity will kind of look back to Cown almost like, oh shit, he's okay with this? All right.
He shrugs and he sends her a mental note being like, take what we can get, love.
And they're your twos, yes?
Yes, if the tail and wings didn't give it away.
Oh, thank God, I would not have preferred anyone else. Okay.
And
Thank
who else
gods.
were you thinking would have been a proper suitor?
I don't know. A lot can happen in a year. But I trust my sister to make the best judgment, and I'm very pleased that she did.
Oh, well, sit up properly. Macau needs a bit more support in the back end, and Nikolai gets a bit fussy and grabby.
He fully sits up still, half in bed, and just reaches out.
He puts one arm. He's very careful with Mikhail because of the wings, and he's just like, I'm blaming your side of the family for how big those wings are. And then Nikolai, he's a little bit more sure that he can kind of take care of himself, and he kind of places him in the other arm. And he kind of hovers for a second before forcing himself to lean back.
He just can't say anything. He's beaming. I'm so glad that I'm able to be here for this. I really am.
And two, but of course there's all in your time. There is much more, but yes.
Well, I mean, first things first, I mean, his wings, they look kind of like mine did. You know how big and silly my wings used to be?
No, you're remembering wrong. You grew into them quite quickly.
No, I grew into them, but they used to be ridiculous.
Not like this.
Oh, he'll kind of look at it, like gently fan it out. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, Trinity takes Nikolai.
And now you, and he'll point to Nikolai, and he'll kind of boop his nose.
Bites your finger off.
No, that's Ajax.
Right.
You two are precious. I'm
Speaking
gonna teach
of
them all the worst things.
quite, yeah, and speaking of, kind of from behind, we see kind of like looming in the doorway Ajax, um, who is there.
Count will kind of go back and kind of nudge open the door a bit more for him to kind of come in.
Yeah, I think he's maybe standing there, not necessarily shyly, but maybe warily. Who the fuck is this?
It's all right. This is your uncle.
Oh, yes, this is Count's firstborn son. We went to Shadowfell and back to get him.
You've mentioned him when Choir was alive, didn't you?
I believe he
maybe
did.
in passing.
Yeah, he mentioned him I think a few times when people were like, "What the fuck are you doing talking to that weird crystal thing?"
This is my son.
I remember you mentioning him.
Yes.
It's very nice to meet you, Ajax.
He just kind of like nods a little bit, hisses,
Choir will just
scurries
nod
back
back.
under the couch. Just kidding.
Goes back into the mouse hole.
Yeah. But as you kind of do take your time in here, kind of soaking up this information, you know, Trinity will speak a little bit, you know, kind of on her and Cown, on the kind of journey that she has had, the adventures that they have had, but will, you know, kind of leave the rest of the blanks to be filled in, basically, not to overwhelm you too much.
Yeah.
But eventually, you have to leave, you know, at some point, whether it's the next day, whether it's the same day. You wander the island a bit, noticing some familiar things. You see, you know, the sort of town square, which is kind of grown a bit. It actually looks like a proper square. There's a lot more buildings, more ships in the harbor. And as you are kind of walking about, you feel just something nagging at you. Something in your chest, almost like a flutter, like an urge, an impulse. You've never met this person before, but you know you need to seek out the other cleric that brought you back, the one that she spoke of, the one who, according to her, is one of the only reasons that you are back. And you can kind of follow that impulse to a small but equally well-appointed cottage on the outskirts of town. It's covered in Halloween decorations. That's how you know the people from the Underdark live there.
With two strapping lads chopping wood outside.
It's got the Texas flag on the side of it. You know they're from the Underdark.
The Texas flag and then the rainbow flag.
Yes.
I imagine he kind of catches a glimpse of himself in the window and kind of pats at his face for a minute, like, oh yeah, I look normal again. And his wings kind of like flap anxiously just a little bit.
They fall off.
As you do that, the door creaks open ever so slightly.
Knock knock.
There's no response.
Who's there? You hear from inside the house?
Oh, I'm afraid we haven't met before, but I'm supposed to speak to the cleric.
Oh, this isn't a joke.
No, I'm afraid I don't know anyone's name, seeing as how I was just brought back from the dead.
No, you can let him in.
Oh, that was Noel from down the hall. He heard the words knock knock and jumped on it.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, you can come inside, Choir. And if you do, you will see probably, how dare you give Tewa a house to decorate, a a blind man decorate.
The three of them are working together.
Okay, so it's not as covered in bits and baubles and dedications.
How big you think this island is? You think they all have their own house?
Look, there is enough. There's enough room for a mountain for a dragon killer to hang out on, and I'm pretty sure the cottage is like 2 rooms.
Well, that's the reason that there's not much room. Is a big fucking mountain in the way of most things.
But you will see Choir standing at a old gnarled wooden table. You will see someone that vaguely looks like Count. Vaguely. You see the dark gray silvery hair, but clearly you're seeing an elf as opposed to a tiefling of any sort. Lots of scarring on the face. You obviously see the raven's feathers braided into his hair, beads, whatnot. And he has like a blanket laid out with almost like meticulously placed arrangement of things down upon it. And when he turns towards you, you can see that his eyes are full glaucoma over both eyes. Boy can't see shit. And yet his head is like perfectly directed towards you, which is funny because most other time Tewa isn't.
Doesn't care to.
Yeah.
I see that you finally decided to get up.
You say that with such impatience.
There is much work to be done.
Go outside and cut a switch.
Look, he's not gonna be like his mom, okay?
No.
No, mother. Come
No,
back to
mother,
me.
please.
Yeah,
Not
let's
this.
squeeze in a quick 3-episode possession arc right before the ending.
I mean, all right. I must say I'm new to this kind of thing. You know, actual piety and all that.
Weren't you a cleric before?
Yes. To, Lothamog.
The traitor. Were you a cleric before that?
No, that's how I got my start, unfortunately. Look, it's a long story and I won't bog you down with those awful details.
Before I died. And he turns back to the table.
Well, I was a shitty person before I died, so
Wonderful.
people change, huh?
He says nothing and starts gesturing for you to come over.
He will, very carefully, not wanting to disturb the setup he got going. He'll carefully, as tightly as he can, tuck his wings behind him.
These I'm giving to you. If only to use in dedication to her.
I mean, of course.
I do not know what sort of cleric you were in regards to Rom.
The dead one.
A bad one. I'm kidding.
But I expect...
I don't really know either.
I expect you to give my lady everything that she deserves. He pauses.
Well, hold on now. She's our lady.
No.
His head slowly turns towards you. It's very bird-like as he does this.
Fucking yeah, Noelle grimacing next to Nim, watching this happen.
Eating an apple, just like no. There's definitely a hierarchy here.
Well, excuse me. You just got brought back from the dead. I'm afraid I don't know anything about you all, so I apologize.
You can call me Tewa.
It's very nice to meet you, Tewa.
He says nothing, and he starts picking up things, and he starts explaining. Like, I imagine, like, he probably has like this huge kit that he made for Choir, For the
Here's your bibble. Here's the bookmark for your bibble. Here's your strap for your bibble. Here's the belt that you put on the straps.
Yeah, he rolls out the little like the bamboo sheet, and inside are all of his priest knives.
Yeah, like there's like a whole bunch of different things. There's like there are oils, there are herbs, there are varying types of feathers. There are probably things that he caught from Zion to include in this kit. Like a bunch of things that are basically just made to be in dedication to her.
I will say he is very, very gentle with them. And he is very receptive.
Okay. Tewa doesn't see this, but I mean, obviously he can hear you touching things and whatnot.
He almost drops something and like very quietly gasps and quickly catches it. Like,
luckily it's a feather, so it doesn't fall very fast.
fuck you. So, I mean, she spoke very highly of you. I will have you know that.
His eyes kind of flutter at that, and he'll say, I don't deserve such praise. And he kind of goes to like start wrapping up your pack, and he will say, I do not know in what domain she has bestowed upon you, but I expect that she is hoping that you prove some use in the upcoming battles.
I also hope I prove some use. Seeing as how I started this battle, and I am been blessed to be able to end it.
Quick question, Michael. I don't sense any curses with curses like my own with Inquire, right?
Like your own, no.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I would say, like, this is maybe behind the screen, but if there was a way found to bring Quire back and the Kraken was still alive, you would have.
Okay.
But the source of whatever curse, the cursed blood has been burned from him.
Good. Then I expect to see you. He pauses. To meet with you. 45 moments before the dawn. Every single morn.
Just lessons.
We've all had to do it.
I mean, yes, I might I request some leniency these first few days, because I am still quite tired and getting used to all this.
He straightens up, and Tewa's not that tall, so I'm assuming Quire is taller than him. But
Quire's a manlet. He's 4'11".
That's why the wings are so chunky. But his eyes are just like looking through you, and he says, Akamar does not wait. Akamar consumes. If you instead prefer to be consumed, then by all means, sleep in.
Sir, yes, sir. I will see you 45 moments before the dawn every morning. And thank you for the delicately put together items.
Bring them with you.
Aye, aye. And though Tewa can't see it, he will do a very deep bow.
He probably hears you do it. And
here's the bones creak as he gets used to them again.
Bones. Julian, you got a lucky reroll.
Yay.
Because you're a simp.
He is. Yeah, he is. He's a simp for her.
Aren't we all just simps for the Lord? But yeah,
says
Am I gay for God?
Says Sullivan as he breaks through the door. Ha!
Hey! Solove truly believes in the Holy Trinity. The Spirit is somewhere, but he's the Father and he's looking for the Son.
He's in Borovia right now.
I thought you were talking about Trinity herself.
No, she's fine. But anyway, Quire, you are eventually kind of kicked out.
I He most definitely leaves on his own volition as soon as possible.
As soon as he's allowed to. These
It's
these two muscly drow leering at him from the back as well.
That's the scary part. He's fine with Tewa.
Ooh, Choir's a racist. All right.
What?
Glad we brought him back.
Okay, first of all.
Kidding. But yeah, as you kind of leave there with your kind of new kit in tow, maybe that question does kind of ring in your mind. What domain she has bestowed upon you?
Yeah, what the hell do I do?
That's the thing, is that you've always kind of had trouble with that. You know, like you were never quite a cleric of light like your family. You never got powers from the Morning Lord.
Never chosen.
Yep. Raum chose you, but for very different reasons.
Yes.
And then just when you forsook him to attempt to seek out other patronage, that's when your life was ended. And now you're back with a new patron deity again. Maybe this one will stick. We'll see.
Well, she is a death goddess, so like, even if she does die,
you're right.
It's kind of like in her wheelhouse.
Exactly, you'll forever be serving, even after death. Mm-hmm. But as you kind of walk about the island pondering for a bit, you again notice kind of the subtle changes. You weren't here for very long, but the one thing you definitely remember is the once familiar tavern. Kind of one of the only like original buildings still in its state. But it still has gone through some changes. It sports a new name and adornments. Anchored in the ground in front, you see the sign signifying the place as the Jackal and Hare. And mounted above the door, you see the gruesome skull of an ancient Behir. The beast you all fought together on this island so very long ago. What does seeing that make you think?
It honestly pains him. It pains him. It reminds him of all the time he lost and the seeds of doubt that were already planted in him, that have been planted in him his whole life, are starting to fester. Like maybe I shouldn't have been resurrected. Maybe I'm going to fail the Raven Queen. Things like that, you know.
Yeah,
he already failed several times.
I am nowhere nearly prepared to be that dedicated to a goddess right now.
Yeah, I mean, you just arrived and were like a week away from the end of the world, basically. Yeah. You were brought back at the worst possible time. It's
a mental reminder of his life being a series of failures.
As you're kind of like leering up at this thing, this skull, you feel a large presence behind you. Oslin, what do you do?
Pick him up.
Break him over your knee.
No. I know. You go into barbaric rage.
I rage.
And then suplex him. She's gonna hesitate for a moment, but she reaches out and like puts a hand on his shoulder.
Roll strength save.
He jumps and his wings kind of fan out, and he'll slowly
Every
turn.
time that your wings flutter, I am mentally picturing that at least 3 feathers just go.
Probably. He's got like male pattern baldness in his wings.
He's got pigeon wings. Bless his heart.
They're still not strong. Never have been. And he will slowly turn around and then quickly turn around and just stare up at you, open mouth. By the gods.
I see that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You have function of she will like reach up and rub the back of her neck. Like not really ever thinking that this day would come. So she also didn't expect him to be like right in front of the tavern.
I was not
baby
prepared.
face.
I was
And-
prepared to drink myself stupid tonight.
And then maybe I would be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
He just looks you up and down and just smiles up at you. A full smile with a brand new face.
Yeah.
You're even more beautiful than the day I last saw you. I didn't think that was possible.
Her eyes will widen as like she blushes a little.
I
Well, it's been a while.
Since
I'm
I
sure
could.
you forgot.
caught. How? Don't be ridiculous. I may look about 30 years younger now, but I'm still very much the same. And I can never forget any of you.
Well, she'll start like rubbing her face before she just sighs and reaches out a hand to take his. Do you want to catch up with some drinks?
Gladly. And maybe my now dashing good looks will charm you once again. He'll kind of snicker.
Actually,
If they charmed me when you looked like that before, it's not gonna be that hard.
I must be quite the handsome devil now, then.
to be fair, to Oslin, scars are probably a turn on, so...
He looks like a fucking
Considering all of
twink
her
now.
tattoos.
Choir comes back, gets uglier. Oh well.
She's like, it's okay. Maybe in the next grand battle, he'll gain great scars of triumph.
And then he'll cry because
I mean,
he's
all her
ugly.
tattoos were
My
scarification.
face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, honey, sit down, take a couple drinks, and we're just gonna add some things to your face.
And let's
We're
get
just
into a
gonna
fucking
fix
fight.
that. But he will
Wanna
take
go cowbell
Oslin's
wrestling?
hand. He will take Oslin's hand and just head into the bar with her.
Oh.
Besides
You guys are probably like, but
I'm here for the size difference. Anyway, you make your way, yes, into the bar. And
Giant woman!
It's like she's like
you
this,
guys have the
she's like this
threesome.
tall, and he's
I
like
have
this tall on her.
Yeah.
Perfect size.
Yeah, and like he's only holding half her hand.
he
It's like the Chihuahua that makes puppies with the Great Dane.
it's like the
God.
picture of the hamster eating the banana.
Oh
shut
yeah.
the fuck up. He has to hold her pinky to cross the street. Anyway.
Stop bullying him! I just got him back.
At this point, we've now decided that Choir is just a halfling, like halfling sized.
Yeah. That was
I
his
mean, we
true
did call him a pigeon.
Kevin made him
so he's
taller.
kinda...
Fucking fuck
I'm
quiet.
kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, you knew this was coming.
I know. It's fun
but
to
he's
bully him.
alive. He's alive, unlike some of us, Taylor. So how about you fucking count your blessings?
Okay, well,
Rip
thank you.
Ollie.
I'm very thankful.
Rip Samson, who we'd never heard of again.
Yeah.
He is working on the sales and trying his best. But we cut to V. V, yeah!
Da Vinci?
For him?
Da Vinci. You have returned from your arduous voyage. We will say this is kind of post choir because you were there for the resurrection. You did the whole
Christ, yes.
yes. You met him again and reacclimated, and you had your bro fist, and you hung out and you said, "Good job, choir, you're back, hooray!" You did all that.
I really want to die right now.
You come back from
too.
this kind of long trek, and I mean, how is the journey back? What do you and Marianne discuss on your way back to the island? If anything, if you're not just dead asleep for 10 days.
I don't even know if he knows how to even, because the actual trip was like kind of like the actual like climb up the mountain was mostly uneventful. It was just cold.
Yeah.
So I don't think he wants to like talk about that. But he'd be like, so like there were other statues, and I'm not too sure if like all of those other statues were also could be other gods. I don't know. I didn't get to talk to any of them. Do you think that would matter?
I'd imagine that those are of the other gods of the Ordning. They all serve in a pantheon underneath Stronmaus himself. The fact that you managed to speak to him, it is a privilege none of us can say we share.
I mean, I spoke to him, and then I also zapped him with a lightning bolt, so, I mean...
He probably took it in good humor. Do you know much about Stronmaus?
No.
The smiling god, they call him.
He looked like he was smiling a bit crazy.
Yes, well, there is no better way to unify a pantheon of squabbling giants than with kindness, with humor in your heart. I suppose it worked for him.
Right. And to know that he has a stake in all of this, and I'm his champion, whatever, kind of has a lot of weight on my shoulders, but...
It is not weight that was not already there, was it?
Fair.
Besides, every romantic story, the champion is chosen. There is always a patron behind every great hero, is there not?
Yeah. I guess I was expecting, like, you know, something more romantic, like Tyr or something.
Not all gods of war are the gods of great champions. He is an interesting sort, but there is none more capable for commanding the storm. Even you to have been naturally blessed with his mark. We print it on ourselves to pay homage to him. But yours has manifested. You truly are his chosen. You always were. But I don't think that should add undue pressure.
No, I think I'm already topped off.
You need a rest is what you need.
Not really enough time to rest.
Well, is nearly a 10-day until we make it back to the island. Plenty of time to relax.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess I'll just, maybe relax over there on the ship, and then, relax over there on the ship, and, maybe look out at the water over on that side.
Captain, before you took command of all of this, what did you do for relaxation? Imagine for a moment all of this, it was gone. Imagine after. Many are troubled by their inability to move past. What will you do once we have won?
Well, I mean, what I did for fun was I read books.
Now you are the basis for them.
Right, so that's probably no book is going to be able to compare. I worked at a farm, but that wasn't really fun. That was more work.
I think that you will always be a warrior, a champion for those who need it.
I don't think I can imagine myself doing anything else. Even though
That is noble.
even though it's only been a small part of my life, I think it's the part that feels the most right.
It is who you are. Just as I do not tend bar for my own health. It is hard to say what my purpose is, but I have found more of it here beside you than I had in all of my days of fealty to the storm god.
Uh-huh.
What I mean to say is that there will be life after all of this. You need to find out what it is that you want to do with it.
Right. Well, I think, all things considered, probably need to worry about what's happening first before thinking about what's going to happen past it.
Nonsense. What is happening will continue to happen until it is done happening. And it will be at the end of your blade and your allies. What do we have to live for except for the future?
I guess I haven't thought about it. Maybe share a tale over some drinks with people who don't know.
I think that that is good. Tell the story so that others, like you, can realize their potential.
Sounds pretty cool.
So a traveling bard, is it?
I can't sing, though. I really don't know how, and I'm not very good at dancing. That was Ollie and June's thing.
Yes, well, I'm sure you'll find a lovely and fulfilling retirement.
But don't retire me yet. I'm still young.
Yes, you are. Yes, I only mean after all of this, you will deserve a break. We all will. I should very much like to teach you more of our customs, if you are willing, when all this is said and done, of course.
I mean, yeah, I like hearing your stories. And, without you, I would not have been able to find out all this stuff.
Nonsense.
Well, you helped.
You were destined to find it. I only made sure that you found it in time to be useful.
Yeah, or you were part of my destiny to begin with.
Perhaps. But our tales all intertwine, do they not? In one way or another, every life affects another.
Sure. And you've affected mine in a very significant way.
So have you. Permission to speak freely, Captain.
Yes?
I think you might need a little help relaxing.
Huh?
You don't seem very good at it yourself.
I think I'm at a very good level right now.
Is that so? Your level is miles above anyone else's that I have known.
Okay, then. What's your solution, then?
There are many ways to relieve stress.
Oh, V, Count's talk to you about the birds and the bees.
Please,
only-
kiss, please.
I only wonder if you might... If you might permit me to be bold.
You're already speaking freely.
Rip V.
She will kind of move a bit closer and place her hands on your shoulders.
Giant. Well, there's so many giant women in our lives.
She's not that much taller than you anymore, but she does maybe have a good head on you. But she, yeah. She says, Captain, I believe I have under-explained how much you have affected me. And I wonder if I might be able to show you.
I am, I learned better hands-on.
And she will kind of lean down, and hold you tight, and give you a very chaste peck on the cheeks, and just kind of stare into your eyes.
All right, B. This is for all the potatoes. All of the chips are on the table. He's going to use what he's learned in his books to reenact one of the better covers, where it's like there's a dip and there's that kiss. That's what he's gonna do. He's going to
Full strength.
He's going to use his strength to dip and kiss that lady.
Do it.
Please don't. Okay, it's a 10. It's hard. She's had. I mean,
So, hey, she's a little heavy.
You fucking drop her.
You guys,
No.
even more romantic. You fall.
It becomes a very low dip, a little bit unexpectedly, but with your finesse, you manage to kind of go into kind of a half lunge, and she almost drops for a moment, but like you can see it kind of like catches her breath a bit.
Books don't fail me now.
And you lean in, and it is beautiful, and she kind of goes a bit limp in your arms, and she dies. No, but, we'll fade out on that. We'll fade.
I told you they both died. Like the ship crashed into a
imagining-
rock. There's some person in the distance says, "We'll buff out those scratches, Captain," and then they fucking died.
Who was steering the
Wait, I'm
ship?
I'm imagining like a Fabio book cover, like long flowing hair,
Yeah.
framed against the moonlight.
I don't think if you remember, I've dressed him as basically one of those characters that are on the covers anyway. He has like
Yes.
the open blouse and
Can you
shit.
please draw this as a book cover?
Oh my god. But anyway,
Please.
Fucking
Jesse.
funny.
funny because that wasn't even the scene I was thinking of doing, but that was great. V, you make it home after this arduous, potentially relaxing trip.
Please tell me Count already knows what happened.
He's a man now.
You're not there,
He's
but
just,
V,
he's just waiting there at the docks.
V
Fire
eventually.
knows you.
Everybody just looks at me and they're like, ah, he did it!
Lost the V card! Let's go!
We
you're
give him a
glowing.
cake that says congrats on the sex.
Wait, you guys are assuming this pure little angel went that far.
We baked him a
Definitely
cake.
not.
On the first date.
They cuddled and held
No.
hands.
Anyway,
Very
V makes it back to the island. Regardless of how much rest and relaxation you got on the ship, you were still on a fucking ship for 10 days. And like it is kind of regaining your land legs, you realize just how much the back, you have to kind of readjust as you're getting on shore. You're relatively exhausted, and as you make it back that night, you make your way back to your cabin. What does V's like home look like
Jeez, I don't know.
on the island?
Fucking cozy.
Yeah, little
It's,
cozy.
It's just like it's cozy, and it's like one of those like macro homes that just has like a lot of knickknacks, or like basically like, here's a souvenir from this island, here's a gift from this island. It's the maximalism, but for like the adventures. And then he's managed to get like a whole bunch of his books and stories and stuff like that. So he has like that. It's just
His collector's edition Nancy Drews, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cluttered, maximalized, tiny
I love
hut.
it. I think it's great. And yeah, as you kind of come in, the moment that you made landfall, kind of like I said, like the full weight of the trip and the journey up the mountain that you took kind of hits you like a ton of bricks, and you just feel achy. Particularly your arm, like where your like mark is, it's like stinging, almost, probably because of the lightning bolt you were fucking hit by. But you do have this kind of like maybe a sense of calm as you come back, maybe a sense of unease at what's coming. But all you need to do now is get some rest. And as you make your way back to your kind of cabin, you shut the door behind you. You make your way in. And it's still dark. The only place that there would be is like some lanterns or what?
I have a feeling of this trope.
That's why none of us are also allowed to be there.
Okay. As you shut the door and make your way in, you hear the sound of a metal click behind you. One false move, and I'll send up the signal flare. Your stronghold will be surrounded in moments. What do you do?
Fuck it, let's destroy the Navy. Let's just go. Let's go for it.
This guy.
Fuck these
Just
guys.
fucking deck him, like
I mean, that's my first thought.
How did none of us notice these fuckers?
That's Jesse's first thought is, I'm gonna turn around and deck this motherfucker. But V is gonna be like, just a slow,
Good pull. You got it from the voice alone.
just this slow turn.
And as you turn, you see Sir Henry Herbert Pembroke, Admiral of the Naval Fleet, sitting in an armchair in the corner by the door, a pistol levied at you. I must admit, when I heard of the half-orc captain of the dreaded Blackened Wing and his conquering of the pirates of Nelantha, I didn't expect him to be housed in such humble lodgings. But when we met all those months ago, I knew there were secrets in your stories. Besides the fact that you had an ex-naval officer working as your bosun, I recognized the hull of a merchant-class naval frigate anywhere, no matter how you paint it. He just kind of stares coldly at you, the flintlock kind of still leveled toward you.
What do you want?
I think you know. I'm the Admiral of the Naval Fleet, dedicated to tearing down piracy where we find it. You've turned quite a few of our colonies to your cause, it seems. All of them hanging our men, painting the symbol of your ship on their shores.
I don't tell people what to do.
Some captain, then.
If they decide that they wanted to be free, that's their choice.
What are you choosing to do?
Right now,
I'm fucking tired.
I plan to take a nap. And afterwards, I was planning on trying to save this realm.
What are you talking about?
You don't know?
All I know is that the crown of Pirate King has changed hands once again. And the fact that you and the rest of the people on this island managed to take down an armada leads me to believe that you've got something dark at work.
Well, if you consider camaraderie, loyalty, and friendship to be dark.
No, just never seen in these parts before. Makes a body suspicious.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you. You're not gonna find many layers here. The only thing we wanted to do was to protect the people of these islands. Protect people that you weren't protecting from the pirates.
Do you expect we protect everyone at all hours of the day when they go betraying us, joining up with pirate armadas, killing our own representatives? And don't think I forgot what your crewmen did the day that you took over the Osprey. That's right. I looked up our logs, and they're on the passenger manifest. The crew manifest, I should say. A lowly cabin boy, half orc. You were there the day that my brother was killed.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't. He was already gone by that point.
No, that was the end. That was the end of the season that he was gone.
I thought V was gone by that point because V fell off.
Regardless, V knows what happened, so...
Yeah, he fell off the tower, and then we defeated the Kraken. We came back to the people who were being held, and then Count was like, "Fuck this guy," and ended him with Caroline.
That is right. That is the one thing that V missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, V knows why.
Yeah.
Right.
You want me to explain that?
I'd love to hear what your version of an explanation is. The penalty for killing a Grand Admiral of the Navy is very high.
I imagine if it is so high, and you're so sure, you would have shot me already. But there's doubt in you.
Perceptive. I bet you're wondering how I found your little stronghold.
We're not hiding.
Well, I paid a visit to one of, it appears, our former colonies by the name of Prosperity. The governor, it seems, went mad. Tried to waylay his own daughter. Tried to kill her in the night. Something to the effect of his loyalty to your flag. We heard the story from Chimera herself.
Oh no, she fucking murdered him. It's fine. I was right.
She told us all about where you live, the deals her father made with you. That is, of course, after she had to defend herself from him.
Fucking snake ass bitch.
God damn it, Kimmy.
We saved Prosperity from Gil's pirates. We freed them from the hold of pirates, something that you did not do.
Perhaps you're right. But what you said, that I have doubt, it is the only reason you've not been shot. It's the reason I came alone. You see, when we spoke to Chimera, she still had the wounds of battle on her. It seems that she took some in her defense. And those wounds of hers were stained black. Now, if you really do claim to know what's going on in these seas, you could explain the black spot we keep finding on pirate corpses, and on the corpses of our men that have been hanged.
All right. Can I sit?
It's your house.
Fee will pull up a chair and take a seat, probably with the gun still trained on him. It's okay. He could have a lightning bolt ready to strike anyway, so he's not too worried about that.
He's been shot before.
That's true. He's been hit with worse.
It's really the the signal flare that he does have also that's maybe a little bit more worrisome, because the moment he gets that fucker out the chimney, his ships are coming to surround the island.
And V will be up front and explain what has been happening to the islands just outside these trade routes, just beyond the naval fleet's eyes. That the Pirate King, Gilchrist, the cult, the Kraken, and the fated prophecy of some regard, maybe not all of it, but just enough to explain what is really happening down in these seas.
Mm-hmm. He will listen patiently, and he will at times offer a question that you can easily corroborate, referring to the mist that Gilchrist was using to camouflage his forces. You know exactly where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
You can explain that. You can also explain why the mist is fucking gone now. It's thanks to you guys.
Yeah, no, I just straight up. This is a down and dirty. Here are the facts.
Yeah. It's not even like a matter of being humble or not. This is just what happened. The black spot is sign of enthrallment with the Kraken. And he will take all of this in quietly. And he will say,
You do know how to tell a tale. My question is, if this is your intention, as you say, to rescue the peoples of this world, of these seas, why kill a commanding officer? Why sail under a pirate flag?
Because the commanding officer wasn't honorable.
you see his jaw clench a little bit at that.
And I suppose you have evidence for that as well.
Ioma.
What?
Ioma.
The Blighted Isle.
Blighted no more.
What, pray tell, does Ioma have anything to do with the fate of my brother?
He had full intention of setting the entire island ablaze. All souls gone.
What?
And if it wasn't for our crew, our ship, many people, innocent lives that were not affected by the plague, would have died. To not even make an attempt, to not even try. Who would follow a naval flag who'd be willing to do something like that?
He keeps his eyes trained on you the whole time you're saying this.
Ask anybody. Many of the people who are here are survivors from Ioma that we took and brought back to safety.
I see.
I'd rather fly under a pirate flag if it means I get to follow my own honor, my own truths, than to fly under a naval flag and be forced to follow orders that will take more lives than save them. And every single person on my ship believes in that. Every single person on this island believes in doing what's right. You set your naval fleet on this island, you lose your last hope.
Better far to live and die under the brave black flag I fly than play a sanctimonious part with a pirate head and a pirate heart.
He kind of like for a moment looks over toward your bookshelf.
He says, The Pirates of Nelantha. I read it myself as a boy. There is more to good than the law. It's the moral of the story, I believe. I'll be frank with you. I did come here with the intention to kill you. To end what I believe to be a blight on our seas. I can't say that I had the closest relationship with my brother, but I did not think he would stoop so low. And yes, it is a shame that there are so many willing to play that sanctimonious part.
He pushes the hammer back into place on the pistol and lowers it and says,
If what you say is true,
It is.
you'll find no opposition from me. But know that you are still, your entire crew, listed as fugitive. There's nothing I can do to change that. If you sail your ship into Baldur's Gate or any of the other of the Lord's Alliance, there will be a price on all of your heads. But as far as I'm concerned, far better for me to die than to allow this calamity to take hold.
Then I propose something. A truce for the moment. And my apologies for killing your brother. We need somebody to defend the mainland from whatever may be coming out from whatever we're going to fight. And you need to be prepared. And we're willing to share that information. And if it eases your conscience, or at least to a certain extent makes you return with honor, you get one shot.
One shot at what?
Shoot me once.
I think perhaps you've read a few too many of those books.
You won't kill me.
I know I won't. But I have no intention of harming the one person who's out here to save all of our skins. I accept your terms. And your apology. Though I'm afraid it sadly wasn't warranted as much as I had hoped it was. We will make our way back to those colonies. Though we have forsaken them before, and they have every right to have given us up. We still defend. For that is our job. And that is our God-given task.
And should you lapse, our crew will be there.
I'm afraid we'll have to count on that. Captain V. Storm Sparrow. It's as good a title as I could come up with.
He stands. And he will extend a hand.
Alright, I guess I'll shake this dude's hand. Even though he was gonna try and kill me.
He says, he will shake your hand and he will say,
Until next time we meet, Captain V. And I do hope I forget your face by then, that we might share a pint in peace.
That would be nice.
and he will turn and he will walk out of your door.
Cool. V will leave the door open for a moment just to watch this motherfucker leave.
Yeah, he does not leave by way of the harbor. He basically takes an immediate turn out of your door back through the jungle, where he clearly hiked from the other side of the island. Roll a perception check.
You gotta hoot and holler so everyone wakes up.
Who?
Sorry, I had to open his sheet.
Wow.
I got a 15.
15, yeah. It's a little tricky, but you have gotten better at this point at spotting that pale little cap rushing through the undergrowth.
God damn it.
Time for Stool's
damn.
morning walk. Stool always takes a walk at about 6 a.m. And by walk, it's really... He just kind of stumbles through the jungle as you make sure he doesn't kill himself. As you are kind of following in tow. And as you kind of follow him, stumbling and bumbling his way through the undergrowth, you come across a body. Not the body of a humanoid, the body of a boar that has been dead probably not too long. But you come across it because you don't see Stool jetting out into the undergrowth. You see him just kind of stop and kind of tilt his cap quizzically. As you know, that means he found something he probably shouldn't be touching.
Don't touch it.
Yes,
He wants to touch it.
Oh
Don't
no, he's
touch
gonna
that
ask what
stool.
death is.
Oh, he knows what death is. He's seen plenty of it. But
He's a Myconid. He does death for a living.
he does death.
He eats death, in fact.
He is kind of poking at this thing a little bit. Stubby arm.
Get your hands off of that.
It's sleeping.
Oh,
You tell me it knows what death is, and then it says it's sleeping.
No,
You
Stool,
precious.
Forever sleep.
it died.
I know, but it doesn't really go away until after we eat it.
Yeah, you're right. I can set some spores on it, and it should be gone pretty soon.
Still kind of poking it. Roll me a nature or a medicine check, Zion. You're the only one
He's
who has to
having a
fucking roll
snack.
dice.
That's what's happening. He's having
24.
A snack.
Yeah, there are no physical marks on this boar whatsoever. It seemed to be quite healthy and then just dropped dead. Which, in your mind, with an over 20 especially, points to poisoning.
Interesting.
It probably ate something that it shouldn't have.
What?
And as you kind of like look around this small little clearing, as Stool is just kind of poking at it still. He finds a stick and starts like whacking at it. He's just having fun. You look around and you see a small brush. I don't know what you would call it, but a beautiful kind of like purple flowering plant that very clearly has been nibbled on. And with a 24 in nature, I'll just give it to you. This is wolfsbane.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And it's not native to this island, to tropical anything, period.
Now, why in the Sam hell?
What in the fuck?
Stool, you stay over there. I'm gonna make us a little campfire.
Don't take my poking stick, though.
I'm,
There's plenty of others.
I got my own poking sticks over here.
Stool uses the poking stick to poke at bloated corpses to make them pop.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, doesn't he know how to shillelagh? Like, he should have a stick.
Stool? Yeah. Yeah, Stool knows shillelagh. He casts shillelagh on his twig and starts whacking at the fucking board. He's doing experiments.
Zion's gonna set it on fire. Actually,
Oh, you're
Zion's
gonna-
gonna take some carefully
Okay.
and then set it on fire.
Okay. So
And let
yeah,
it
You're
burn.
gonna fucking murder Ollie.
you take the samples of the wolfsbane, and well, it's too late for that. Anyway, you take the samples of the wolfsbane, and as you are kind of like sparking, your produce flame or whatever, Stool comes up and says,
Oh, that's a good one.
The plant?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
those flowers are my friend's favorite.
So, since when do you have a friend?
No one likes you.
Other than us.
I too have friends.
Well, who's your friend? And why do they like that?
It's your friend too, dummy.
What are you talking about?
The flowers.
Ollie?
Yes.
Ollie never... Ollie wore lilac.
That's not what Ollie says.
Zion just stares. Are you talking to Ollie?
Yeah?
How?
The same way I talk to you. I always talk to everybody.
Are you talking to a corpse?
Just sleeping. Until we eat them, and then they're gone.
Where's Ollie at?
Where's Ollie sleeping?
It just gives a little stumpy shrug.
I don't know.
Where do you talk to him at?
Usually by the flowers, but you made this one dead.
Sign's just gonna stare. Well, surely you remember where another one is.
Yes, but it's that's way.
And he kind of points off.
Lead the way. And then Zion in Zion's head, he's like, I never thought I'd say that before.
Yeah, his stool kind of toddles off. Is there anybody that you want to
Maybe bring with you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's someone biting my arm. Ow.
It's not Stool. Stool has no
he'll-
teeth.
He'll get Mariah and before he gets Mariah, he'll go to Tewa, Nim, and Noel's house.
Yeah, dead things are definitely in our
Your purview.
in our
You'll have the
purview.
death purview.
Damn.
Zion will knock and then crack the door.
There's no flowers in here, dummy.
No, hold on, hush. Tewa,
You have flowers in here?
shut up.
Honestly, I
And
don't know
one-
what's the point of you if you don't even know how to braid a perfect feather in your hair. You hear Taylor say.
Is it the choir?
Yes!
Yeah, it's early enough. Yeah.
Come on, I've never had that much hair to braid, okay? Trinity never let me braid her hair.
With good reason.
Perhaps you should practice. How are some people supposed to know which you
Look, Noel
represent?
has plenty of hair. You can practice on him.
He'll throw his hands in the air. So, is it the point of this to learn this kind of thing? So I expect a little modicum of patience.
So
You
much
are...
time for patience, darling. Not when the end of the world's around the corner.
He sighs and kind of turns his head to the side. I'm sorry, Zion, what?
Can I talk to you all? Sorry to interrupt your
That's fine, he's
braiding.
useless.
It's a braid train.
He turns away.
So help me, God.
It's a braid train.
Noel will
Not
put his
this
hand
is-
very firmly on Choir's shoulder and say,
Don't worry, you go talk to Zion and I'll teach the boy how to braid.
He pauses briefly at that, but he kind of shakes his head and keeps going.
Noel is an expert at braiding hair.
As long as they keep it at just braiding.
Choir like grumbles.
Of course he's good.
off.
He's not that dumb. Choir is not his type.
Fuck no.
But yes, they will basically. Noel will keep Taylor's other character busy, so you can all have a meaningful conversation.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw a loop in somewhere.
It's very
funny.
good. Hold on, Richard. If you don't quit, stop.
I would like to just state.
So what's the
Well,
problem?
I'm unsure if you should burn
What's wrong?
Wolfsbane.
What's the problem?
So, we were out on our morning walk, and Stool told me that, well, first of all, I found a bush of wolfsbane.
That's old.
Wolfsbane, what Ollie wore. Ollie liked wolfsbane. Purple flower, and he'll produce one, poisonous. It don't grow here. It don't grow anywhere in the tropics.
I imagine it shouldn't.
Exactly.
So why
And
is
he'll
it
kinda-
here?
Did he perhaps
That's-
plant some before he died?
That's what I'm getting there.
Seems pretty reasonable.
Stool here has told me that he speaks to Ollie near these bushes. So, since you all knew Ollie somewhat as well, and you are in fact into death and all that.
Okay. Into death is a very specific thing.
This is more specific.
His eyes
That was
flutter.
Or
Interesting.
tell you what, I was just wondering if you'd accompany us to one of these here bushes.
Invasive plant species are not very good for the ecosystem.
Probably would cause more death than unnecessary death.
Well, I can burn the bushes myself. That's not the issue.
The issue
is
The
that
plants.
the stool, he'll kind of pat Stool. The point is, Stool's saying he's been talking to Ollie.
Have you been talking to Ollie?
The same way I talk to you all. The same way.
And what
Ollie's just...
What do you talk about?
Shrug.
Can I
What?
can I commune on the way?
Commune?
Can I commune on the way over?
What, with the Raven Queen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
you can,
and
yeah.
ask if he's still there.
What is commune? Is that a spell?
Yes, it's a 5th level spell. And
Spell.
casting time is a minute. You contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no.
Okay.
I just assume that because
Yeah, we can do
reasons.
that on the way. Yeah, so get those questions in the chamber before we actually start walking off. Nim, what were you
Sure.
asking?
What specifically do you talk about? I know you talk about something. Do you talk about friends? Do you talk about what you do?
Sometimes we talk about flowers and different kinds of them. And sometimes we talk about how sometimes there are places where flowers can't grow. Sometimes. But they don't like to talk about that part a lot. But they said, sometimes they tell me that I have to tell other people about them. But that's stupid because everybody knows Ollie. So I just never say nothing.
Zion's ears are just going to pin back, and his head's gonna tilt, and just slowly crane his head towards Nim and Tewa.
Alright, so Stu... So Ollie doesn't say anything about where Ollie is, just in a place where there's nothing growing?
Yes, there's lots of rocks, and it's an island, but everything's an island. And that I need to talk to the captain and the with the horns. I don't know names too very good.
Cam?
Tewa's like brows like furrow as he's in the middle of like trying to make the connection, and it almost like imagine like it breaks for half a second, and he's like,
Yeah.
why does he need to speak to him?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but I also keep telling Ollie, dummy, just go talk to them yourself. So I forget about it.
Nim's going to look over to the side and say, from what I understand, from what V said, and from what June said and Oro said, Ollie died.
Just because you die doesn't mean that you can't commune.
Yes, but...
Yes, of course Ollie died.
Yes, but he
That
died...
doesn't mean Ollie's dead.
He has a point.
Ollie died in another realm.
I have a point.
I died in another realm.
They buried him in the Feywild.
How can his spirit be here?
Ask me why my spirit ended up here.
You're here. I don't have to ask. You're here.
I don't
Also, you're
know,
not dead.
I think
Can we just go talk to the bush, to Ollie? and we'll see what he says or what they say.
No, if
excuse
they
me.
want the other, they said about the captain and of Count and all the other ones, but I just thought that was I should get to know them better. But I think Ollie wants to talk to them.
Let me go run off and get Count and Captain V.
Fine.
Your other two characters for the scene. We can all have 5 characters.
It's gonna be
It's fun.
great.
Can't wait for Jesse's second character to show
Wait,
up. Oh, no, it's
let's go
Jesse's
get
third
Keaton
character to show up.
Northman.
I don't have a third character. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, you sure?
Forbidden third character.
And they probably want to talk to Keaton and all of them, but I don't know if Fat Keaton is here anymore. There's just Horse Keaton.
It's still Keaton.
It's just Caden in a jar, basically.
It's
A
completely
fancy horse-shaped jar.
different.
Exactly.
Yes, but it's still Keaton.
It's like putting on clothes.
What is clothes?
What do you think this is?
Yeah,
Loose
this ain't our
skin?
skin.
Okay, well, I'm going to go get the captain.
Feathers?
Him understanding death is one step. We'll get there.
How does
one
he
day.
understand death and not understand clothes? You are doing this in the wrong order.
I'm naked.
There, see? He gets it.
Bye.
Okay. As
This
as
is
you go off
amazing.
to as you go off to gather,
Everyone wants to die even more now.
as you go off to gather, Tewa, you commune
This really is Scion.
with the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
You feel her kind of connect with you, and you hear her basically, how is my new servant?
Terrible at braiding.
Terrible, give him credit. He's been very diligent. And he is very much trying.
He's like a lump of clay.
Oh.
As could be expected, but he has a masterful teacher.
His head kind of like tips down even though she's not there to see him. And he'll say, "My lady, may I ask some things?"
Yes, of course. That was one.
God damn it.
No.
He kind of like rubs his head briefly. He probably still has like a slight headache from stool screaming, "I'm naked." And he will ask, "There was one of ours that did not make it past the Feywild. I helped in their funerary arrangements. I'm being told by a myconid that this person is communicating through an invasive plant species. What is Ollie's full fucking name?
Ollie de Fleurs.
Ali de Fleur.
Is Ollie de Fleurs
Fleur.
still within your realm and courts of death?
I have to go by the rules of the spell. And she says no.
That's what I thought.
It's a great question, but I can't give you any more that isn't a yes or no.
Can you give me a sign who took him?
So can you say that one more time?
Can you give me a sign who took him?
No.
Are the flowers simply a sign of his coming?
She doesn't know how to answer that.
If it's too much, I'm sorry.
Basically, what that means is she doesn't know what the answer to that is, which is odd, maybe.
His brows kind of furrow, And he'll say, knowing that I guess she within the realm of the spell that she can't answer any more questions, he'll say,
Well, she didn't answer that one, so.
You sound confused over what might have happened to this one. Dare say it perhaps happened while you were predisposed.
Perhaps, but even when I regained myself, there were souls waiting for me.
And he was not one of them.
No.
Is your third question.
Alright. Then I suppose that we may have yet another piece in this puzzle that we need to consider. Thank you for answering me.
Always.
I imagine his lips probably part to say something else, but I'm sure everyone's getting back by that point, so he just kind of closes his mouth before he can say anything else.
He hangs up without saying goodbye, yes.
No, he was gonna
kidding.
say something, but then he's like, I can't be a simp in front of everybody else, I guess.
Aww. So. But yes, important information. She never got her hands on the Raven on Ollie.
Okay.
Ollie was intercepted.
Yes.
Ollie was intercepted. Yes. Like a carrier pigeon shot down in World War II. The Nazis have Ollie, is what I'm saying.
Cries.
It's not true.
Fool's Tower isn't coming back.
Oh no.
They're using the expertise in poison. Oh no.
Ooh. But yes, as everybody is kind of gathered around or gathered back, what would you like to do? What would you like to ask Stool? Does he have any more information he could give you?
I don't think he does.
I think
besides saying take us to the bush.
I think if anything, Table will pick up the dumb mushroom body and go as he lifts it up. This is one blind thing staring at another blind thing as he's
blind
walking.
leading the blind, yes.
And he says in the mindscape, is Ollie the only one that you spoke with?
I mean, I can talk to you and Nim and
in connection
Zion
to Ollie.
I talked to Zion today about Ollie, but no, I think when I talk to Ollie, it's just Ollie, and they tell me to talk to the captain and Count, but I usually ignore it because they're supposed to talk on themselves.
Okay.
I don't think that he can. Yet.
We're here.
Tewa just slowly turns his head as he probably has too firm of a grip on Stool.
He looks like a stress toy that you've squeezed.
Are you so? Ollie's back?
Ollie never made it to my lady's realm. He sets Stool down.
That's not normal.
Something else took him. And clearly, he's trying to make contact. But I don't know if it is good or bad.
Hey, Stool.
Yes.
Can you take us to where you talked to Ollie?
I could have taken you to my favorite one, but Zion killed it.
I didn't know.
Why don't you take us to your second favorite one?
Second favorite is just as good.
As Count says.
I would have to think about which is my second favorite.
Which is the one that you go to the second most?
You see a little stump go up to his cap as he's thinking really hard.
Take us to the first one you think of.
I'm surprised that he wants to talk to me, honestly. I mean, I hardly said more than a few words. If that. In fact, not at all.
Ollie said something about how it's not them that wants to talk to you. It's that where they're at that you have to get to.
They said it was rocky and flowers won't grow there.
It's dead. The ground is like pudding and it's dead.
Ground is like
Ah.
pudding?
Are you saying it's like Shadowfell?
It's gross.
Well, that's your opinion.
Sorry, Gam.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Or it could be like Ioma,
Well,
dead and rotting.
if Ioma was a beacon of crossing of worlds, and surely in the time that it's taken Choir to recover, and for V to... Well, you haven't told me exactly what you've done yet, but considering all the time that's
I
passed,
didn't do anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if more tears between our universes have happened.
This place is old. That's
Well,
what
they-
they say.
They buried him in the Feywild in the Spring Court.
That can
Oh.
only matter. This is Tewa kind of says and kind of nudges Stool. Just go in the direction where we need to go.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
He says as he kind of waddles forward.
That's just where the meat part is. We gotta talk to the spirit.
Right, so
Yes.
I'm bringing
He's right.
my flamethrower.
If you wanna, but I don't think the flower is gonna bite you.
It's an invasive plant.
If they're the flowers from Shadowfell, they might.
We
Let's
bebop behind Stu.
let's go.
Yeah, Stool leads you
Stool
all.
gets to hold one of the little egg drones.
Yes.
Oh,
Stool will Stool will lead you on a merry walk through the jungle, kind of up toward the foothills of the mountain. As Stool will have to stop every once in a while to get their bearings, just kind of like look around, even though it doesn't really help that they're looking, but they learned it from watching all of you.
It doesn't have eyes.
And eventually will
Learned it from watching owls.
Yes. Eventually, we'll kind of stumble over like fallen logs and stuff and get distracted by butterflies.
Fucking Tewa's like, it's the end of the fucking world! Hurry up!
And we're walking through the jungle.
But yes, eventually, you find your way into a very small glade, where Stool turns around and puts his little stumps like kind of approximately on his hips and says,
Now listen, this is my flowers. Don't break it.
We promise we
You
won't
heard
set
him.
them on fire. Yet.
he points a little stump at Count. Don't break it.
I'm not the one with the flamethrower. As he kind of his eyes kind of like slide over to Kaden with a smirk.
I'll try
Turns
not
to-
to trample them either.
Turns to Keaton, looks up and says,
Just because you've got legs doesn't mean you can break it.
I just said I will do my
No
best
buts.
to maneuver around.
No buts. No buts.
he keeps saying as he marches toward the flowers.
Why is it using my tonal patterns? It's annoying.
He's
As
taking
Tewa
out the
says.
sass
Count's an uncle too.
Just so y'all know, he's
Oh
gonna pick the sass
no!
up for me.
No, Count.
Keaton can properly express this now because their chest piece expands in a sigh.
Count pats Keaton on the back. It's like, yeah, I'm sure he'll get used to it. My kids are actually less entertaining than this, so this is actually a treat.
Yeah, when they're destroying my workshop.
But
There's
yeah.
some ways to handle that.
picked up the sass from his mama. I had no part in that.
Stool will go over to the little flower and just kind of pat the top of it a couple of times.
Ollie, wake up. Okay. Okay.
What does Count see with his magic eyes?
Nothing.
I don't know, can you
Well, ain't
communicate
that a
with plants?
curveball?
Do you have that stuff?
Fucking,
Yeah,
we
right.
should have brought June. God damn it!
But anyway, yeah, Stool kind of continues patting at this flower and like having a one-sided conversation where Stool just like, okay, yes. Yes, about the rocks. Okay. 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 I love you. Okay.
Count's like, wait, what?
And Stool turns around. Yes.
I
I
love
use
you,
commune
bye.
with nature,
You can try to. Yeah. What is that? A spell?
5th level.
Okay. Explain.
Let me.
Damn druids.
Woo!
Oh.
Territory.
Wait, I didn't read it. This is stupid.
I'm sure
I
you have
thought-
speak with plants. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Hold on.
There's a fucking spell called speak with plants.
Hold on a second.
And you can give a plant sentience.
Oh, like awaken. Yeah.
And you can basically have a conversation with it and like ask it questions, but it has
So
the
level
mindset of Stool.
Okay, it's a 3rd level spell.
Okay. Speak with plants. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do that. Do you have to target a specific plant?
You view plants within 30 feet of you, with
Okay,
limited
whatever the
sentience and
plants are, yeah.
animation.
As you try to you know, maybe speak or even just kind of vibe with this wolfsbane for a moment, you're getting nothing from it. It's like a husk. It's like it might as well not even be there. It doesn't have its own sentience. It doesn't even have its own life, really.
Okay, so that plant is not actually a person or a thing.
No.
Okay, because
It's not alive.
I was gonna say otherwise, Count could use Awakened Mind to talk to it.
Yeah, I would say if you were to try to do that, you would get the same result. Basically, this plant is like if it was alive at one point, it is a quote unquote zombie. This plant, it has no life of its own.
Turn undead.
Turn undead. Yeah,
I get to use my sight finally.
It rips its roots out of the ground and runs away.
It's like a
You
zombie.
set the entire grove on fire as well.
Does it actually? Though that is a good question. Do I sense undead here?
No, you don't.
Okay.
But Stool will kind of turn around after having his long conversation with nothing. Which again, Zion, you're not getting anything from the plant. Stool's not talking to the plant. The plant isn't doing anything. It's a conduit, maybe of some kind. It's kind of like to use a weird analogy, it's like a phone receiver
It's a Ouija board.
or a Ouija. Yeah, like you're not talking to the phone.
How old are you?
You're talking to whatever's on the other side of the
Oh.
phone.
E.
How old are you? Dead. Child.
Die.
Behind.
But he turns
Where
around
are
and
you?
says,
Behind.
Okay, now that everybody is here, Ollie says hello.
Hello.
What else do you say?
and it turns back around to the plant because it forgot.
Count kind of like goes and like leans, like kneels down next to Stool and says, "You said something about moving stones."
Yes, the place is old and it is made out of rocks. But the ground is like pudding and it's dead and plants don't like it.
So you want us to fix that so that the plants can grow?
No,
No.
this place is too far gone, says Ollie. And the place is, they're not trapped there, but they have a special job. But you all gotta get there.
Get to Ollie.
To the place with the rocks and the pudding.
Alright. And like him kind of glancing around briefly, like obviously like we're not there, right?
Oh God, no.
How do we get there?
It's with a boat, dummy.
Okay.
It's an island. Ollie has been to this place very long time before and did not like it because it was still pudding and rocks.
Stool. And Count kind of like goes and he rummages in his coat and pulls out like parchment and gets maybe like charcoal or whatever and kind of offers it to Stool. Can you talk to Ollie and perhaps chart out where this might be?
Okay.
And Stool kind of grips the charcoal between his two nubs.
He tries like Count like kind of assists. It's like him. He's like instantly in dad mode.
You're right, yeah.
Zion's like on the other side, like trying to guide him. Like we're both like.
Tay was like, why am I here?
I think with that kind of description, it might be an island that already is around. Maybe Marianne knows about it.
That's a good. Do you want Marianne to be there, or do you want to go ask her later?
Well, let's get the drawing first, and then
Right. Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
So Stool will kind of like he will. It's a mess, folks. But he's gonna lean down and he's gonna try his best to move
hold.
the hold and draw.
This is the mountain, and this is all of us.
And you see him trying to draw little stick figures one after another for every one of you.
Oh no.
Count can, maybe like, okay, you move him off to something else.
Zion's like, no, let him do it. I want to see.
Outside of the people, is there lots of water around it?
Is the island dummy?
Well, you haven't put that in your picture yet.
Right.
And he's making little dots for like some other islands, and he goes all the way like to the left, and he's like, this is Baboma.
Maybe we could find some historical texts if they've been there in the past.
Please don't tell me this is Ioma again.
No.
He said this is
Drew
Baboma.
Ioma.
He said this is Baboma, so that's
He's drawing Baboma as a reference, as a landmark.
And all the way this way.
He goes all the way to like the right of the picture. He draws a little circle with a bunch of terrible little dots in the middle of it, and little stink lines.
That's a bad place. With the pudding.
That we need to go to.
And the rocks, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'll ask Marianne.
Yeah, I think this is a Marianne question.
I think my drawing is pretty good.
Tewa kind of tuts, and he'll say, why don't you ask your second in command or whatever to your ship? Aren't they, like, ancient?
Yeah, there's a lot more people who are more familiar with the seas than I am.
Oro, you're right. Well, we have a few people to ask.
This is a place that Ollie says is not on the maps.
Right,
But it's very old. It's even older than the Snake Man.
Really? Ain't he like a bajillion years old?
There's not such as a bajillion, stupid.
Oh,
Hey,
Oro
you don't
might,
call me stupid.
Oro definitely might know too.
You don't call anyone stupid, Stool.
Ajax calls me stupid.
Well, Ajax is gonna hear from his daddy.
Count
I was like, oh, yeah, right, that's not good.
Sure.
Zion just kind of gives him like a knowing look, like, don't worry about it. But
Ollie says that if you don't get to the place, then by the time the big walking guys get here, everybody's gonna die.
Oh, wonderful. This
Excuse
sounds...
me.
Well, V, you should be thrilled. This sounds like a
What the
grand crescendo to your story.
an
I was
island of
gonna-
pudding and rocks.
I was gonna dismiss this as some weird spiritual child journey, but
No, I think this is legitimate.
Regardless, I suppose that we have Ollie to thank.
Gonna go,
And Stool.
gonna walk
And
back to town.
Stool sure did something big. You might
helped.
get a treat.
Can I eat the piggy that we found?
You know, if your mama says it's okay.
It's so weird, I hate it.
But Stool is very self-satisfied that weeks later he's finally passed on the message.
God.
But yes, you need to find this island made out of pudding and rocks that's very old and very stinky. Because that's where Ollie is. And Ollie needs everybody to get there, or at least the captain and Cown. because that's where Ollie says that Cown needs to go, according to Stool.
If not, we're all gonna die.
If not, yeah, when the big walking guys get here, then everybody's gonna die.
Told him about the big walking things.
Marianne.
He knows everything.
Stool knows all. But yeah, you guys make your way back to town, and yeah, if you seek out Marianne, what do you ask her? What do you say?
We need to pull out the maps.
Of course. What are we charting a course?
Yeah, can you tell what this is?
It looks like someone dropped charcoal.
That's quite rude. It's a children's drawing.
Stool tried really hard.
Well, it's quite good for someone who does not have any digits.
Precisely.
Or eyes.
This is Ioma.
Yes, I see. This, I would assume, is our mountain. What is this meant to be?
An island of pudding and rock.
It's a dead island.
It sounds like Shadowfell.
A dead island.
Not on the map.
It is possible that if this were a small enough place, it would go unmapped or perhaps ignored. We would have to find quite a close topographical map of the area. I do imagine it is quite small. Look at it in scale between the island and Ioma. I'd imagine he drew it that small for a reason.
One could hope.
Or he was struggling, I don't know.
You say this all came from Master Ollie de Fluas. Perhaps that Stool mentioned they had been there before.
Yeah, and that it's old. Really old.
Well then, at the risk of wanting to wake the dead, perhaps Ollie has kept some journals or writings of their time there. Perhaps it might be a clue as to where it is located.
This is just Sea of Thieves.
Shut the fuck up.
We're just playing Sea of Thieves right now.
I have had this planned since before I got that goddamn game.
Good old treasure hunt, but you're hunting ghosts.
You're hunting ghosts, which is evidently another mission that you can do in Sea of Thieves. You can hunt ghost ships. Anyway,
Here we go, going into this investigation to find this journal that we're going to just flip the pages to the important part.
There you go. When an island is mentioned, something about pudding. But yes, you can, if you would like, go through Ollie's old effects.
Sorry, Ollie.
Yeah,
Ray Robin over here.
I know. But if you kind of go through some of the older journal, well, hey, Var, what do they find? What has Ollie written on this place?
There's a small section about never returning to an island. It reeks of death. Nothing has existed. Nothing will ever exist on it. The very air of it makes you want to vomit. And it's an unsteel feeling that will haunt you to your core.
And I think that there is basically a little bit of the inciting reason, obviously, besides the fact that it was just kind of a foul place that you did not stay, is the sightings that kind of spooked a lot of the crew, almost as if shadows were getting up and walking the closer you got to the center of the island. With this kind of information, kind of, based on kind of the travel logs, because we all know Ollie takes meticulous notes so that they can write stories later. You would think that this island is somewhere to the kind of far northeast of the island chain, whereas Ioma is in the southwest. And your island is kind of smack in the middle, so Sewell's drawing was semi-accurate. But eventually you have at least a region to begin to explore. And as you kind of gear up, who is going on this island expedition? I will have to ask you to pick one character each.
V and Count have to go. So.
V and Count have to go, yeah.
Okay.
Can I request that Choir go, as this could be like his first at real expedition since being revived?
Cool.
Tewa says, don't fuck it up.
Let's
And don't
get
fuck
the
it
whole
up.
team back together.
RuPaul.
Oh yeah, you could get the old team back.
Let's get the old team back together.
Old team back together to bring back new member of team.
Yeah.
I mean, the Underdark people don't know.
Yeah, not too well. So hey,
I mean, Count doesn't know Ollie at all, but he's like, all right, whatever.
But you're legal. You have to.
I'm legally
you're
bound to
legally
go.
obligated to go. If you would like, we can have because Tewa might have an interest in this, so Tewa can stay on the ship, basically.
Yeah, because I imagine that both brothers look at each other and go, oh, yeah, that sounds like Shadowfell.
Yeah. So we can have one or two other people on the ship if we would like to, but maybe June can come along.
Yeah.
Because June was close with Ollie as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say June can be on the ship.
Cool. So we'll say Tewa and June on the ship. But
Noelle, you're in charge.
Great.
Not really.
Also, what ship are we taking?
Let's just go OG and just take the Black and Wing then.
Take the wing. It's quicker anyway. Cool. Let's do it. So yeah, you guys make your way off for this kind of uncharted region of the sea to figure out what this message could possibly be.
Well, that was a rhyme.
That was an accident, yeah. With that wonderful accidental rhyme, I'd love to take a 5 because I have to use the restroom.
Fabric.
But yeah, let's meet back at whatever your time is and 20 minutes, and then we'll be back.
Be at the 20-minute mark.
At the 20-minute mark, yeah.
go back. My mom's yelling for me.
Ain't that how
Hell
it
yeah.
always be? Go get it. Go get him. We're ready.
We're ready. Hard cut.
Are we
we're,
back? Are
we're,
we here?
We're in the stones and goop.
Yeah. Hard cut. Count has drowned in the pudding.
I mean, I guess that's one way to go.
This cheesecake is nice and thick.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Anyway, yes, you set off.
Baby.
And baby. And maybe not too terribly long after. Like it's maybe a little bit less than a 10-day of scouring the area. You do kind of find this is like way off. This is in the middle of the sea. It's barely even part of this island chain at this point anymore. You find a smallish lone island.
T-Pan, he's there.
Kind of shut the fuck up. Kind of with a little bit of an unwelcoming sight, in that it is kind of covered in black mist. Certainly you don't see a lot of figures moving around in it. It's not like the rampant mist, but it is it is there. Which does give you this kind of unwelcome nostalgia. Choir, you've never seen anything like this in your life.
Is that normal? Did I just never see that before, or what the hell is that?
Remember the dark shadow beasties that showed up in the bilge of the ship?
Oh yeah, those nasty shits.
Yes.
Same thing?
Similar.
Oh.
But on a global scale.
Is this the mists thing?
Yes.
I was briefly informed. Okay.
It was supposed to be primarily handled. Captain, he says, kind of like a little tongue-in-cheek to UV.
Yeah?
Do you propose that this is where our grand collision between two eldritch dead stars are supposed to be meeting? After all, they have to have some sort of meeting point.
I mean, I hope not. We're not really prepared for that.
Yeah, I don't really feel like we have the adequate crew for this.
I also think the island might be too small.
It is a little bit small for two eldritch beings
They're not that tall. They can't be that
to
tall.
engage in combat upon.
Tewa's size. As Cowan's like, they can't be that tall.
Bet you thought.
Well, hopefully, Stan, I'd rather not die here, now, without at least my loved ones beside me.
June's the kind of girl, she got that engagement ring, she won't stop fucking talking about it.
No, leave her
I'm just
alone.
kidding, I'm kidding.
She's excited.
She's excited, yes.
Look, she's already pregnant with Hydra, it's fine.
Probably fucking is that night.
Don't try to make me
No,
feel
that
bad
would
for
make
killing
sense.
a pregnant girl.
What? No. She teaches him how to drive a wagon with his feet.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. Look, Tommy is the best child for those two.
Fuck Tommy. Just call him Hydra.
Anyway,
His middle name.
Sorry, we just had to delve back into necessary
That's
evil for a
fine.
hot second.
Fuck Tommy.
you
Holy
eventually, Tommy Pickles, you eventually make your way closer to the shores of this island. Obviously not a great place to moor anywhere. So it kind of becomes the situation of,
Alright, Captain.
of docking or quote unquote dropping anchor a bit further out and taking the shore boat in, which can only fit so many people. So the four of you, Cowan, V.
Ori Oslin has proficiency in watercraft.
There you go. She's driving.
I would
She's
sure
rowing.
hope so.
Cowan, V, Oslin, and Choir, kind of the OG team, make their way, on shore leave to the island itself. And as you get closer and you start seeing through the mist, you kind of get what Stool was saying a bit. as completely dotting the landscape of this otherwise pretty barren island are standing stones. Some of them natural, some of them decidedly unnatural, like placed there like a henge situation, like a stone henge. But as you kind of make landfall, the ground is swampy and ashen. Your feet sink almost immediately into it as you kind of enter this kind of marshland sort of territory that seems to permeate the entire fucking island.
Does this definitely feel like Shadowfell?
It gives vibes.
Okay.
Yes. The fact that the
swampy
mist
like
is
Ioma.
right. It's swampy because it's an island, but
It's just that hag. She called us here.
It's just the
He's
hag.
hanging out. But yeah, the whole island has this kind of dead, rotting feeling to it, and it does smell like mulch, like compost. Whatever kind of trees that you can see, kind of, you know, some decrepit trees out in the distance, but even those are like you could probably poke a finger into them. They're that rotten. They're just still happen to be standing. Whoever would like to can roll me Arcana, can roll me Nature.
Bro, this is purgatory.
Do my magic eyes see
brawler.
anything?
I've got a 7 in Arcana.
Okay.
That's for you smart folks.
Right. Your magic eyes do not see anything in particular quite yet.
Okay.
I'll get to you in a
That's for you
second. But
smart folks.
All right.
roll Arcana first. It's for count only, I guess.
Oof.
All
I'm
right.
gonna use
Oh,
my
I was gonna roll. Feels
inspiration.
bad.
Inspiration. Go ahead.
I have a 7.
18.
Cool. Oh, a +7 choir?
Yeah.
Yeah, count us
Oh,
plus
shit.
6. So.
Okay, well, with an 18, and it makes sense for Count, you sense foul necrotic energy. Just kind of buzzing in the air of this place. The Shadowfell has latent necrotic energy, but it's not really. This is like Shadowfell concentrate. You got to dilute it with water before you drink it, that sort of thing. There is a pervasive necrotic aura about this place, and it's not like dissipating outwards. It seems very contained on this island itself.
Okay. Doesn't feel a little far planey, or are we just saying just necrotic?
That is unknowable.
Okay.
It's just necrotic. It's got Shadowfell vibes, definitely.
Okay. Count will kind of like shrug a little. I was like, you know, it's probably best that my brother didn't come, because I think he might be losing his mind with all the necrotic nonsense going about. He might just end up pitching a house here.
It's beautiful.
Taylor's just like standing at the ship looking sad.
He's like sniffing the air, like, I smell it.
It's perfect.
I smell the necrotic energy. Is this considered dim light?
Yes.
Okay. Just wondering.
Fucker, I just
Your
read the
magic
character
eyes
sheet
see.
earlier.
I have dark vision too.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have more.
You got more bullshit in the dim light, you Twilight motherfucker. Anyway,
I can see underwater in the deep dark ocean.
eventually you kind of make your way inland, a little bit, you know, kind of leaving the shore, where it becomes a little bit less mucky and just kind of muddy, and, you know, a little bit more firm ground when you're not directly on the shoreline. But as you're kind of moving, you can see this kind of hilly, rocky terrain, which again might well have been lush at one point thousands of years ago, but it is rotten. It is dead. And as you keep going, Cown, your magic eyes,
They pick up something.
you pick up something kind of glimmering in the distance. Very faint at first, but it basically enough for you to know a few seconds before other people that something is coming toward you.
What were you gonna say?
Is there anyone who doesn't have dark vision?
Nope.
Okay. Fuck you. I was gonna use that.
I know you're gonna be helpful, but no.
Look, none of us are
Specialized.
human.
Yeah,
True.
this is the least human crew I've ever seen in a D&D campaign.
Oh, because we're fun. Anyways.
Yeah.
No, it's because we're LGBT.
True.
Yeah.
We are queer,
But,
so.
Humans are the heads of the D&D world.
Oof. Count will kind of notice the glimmer, and he'll kind of like briefly kind of touch V's shoulder, and he'll say, "Look alive! There's something coming this way with arcane magics."
Choir will kind of come up to V's other side and kind of Choir's wings will brush against you, and he'll say, "Be careful." And a gentle pulse of energy will kind of jolt through you. You have been given Vigilant Blessing. You have advantage on your next initiative roll.
What is the duration for that? How long does that last?
Should last us until next week.
Sorry, I just lost it.
Yeah, until when the world ends.
This benefit ends immediately after the roller if you use this feature again. So, whenever he uses it.
After the roll. Okay, so fuck it. So V, on your whenever you roll initiative, you have advantage.
Okay.
Just once, but hey, that might be enough.
That would be enough.
You do that, and then a few moments later, the rest of you can see, and I do mean literally see, this glimmer of light as it kind of drifts toward you. It's hard to make out any form if there even is one, but as it gets closer, I would love everybody to roll me Arcana or Nature.
It's for the smart people, right?
Oh, I have that toggle.
13.
Oopsie doopsie.
Good job, Oslin.
Okay.
Oslin, with your -1. Let's.
Oh God, where's
Let's
the
go.
advantage thing?
Oh, you got to go into the guts of your sheet to do it.
I am. I just can't read it.
I'll do it for you later.
Just like I have ancestral guardians, they're like little wisps.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
honestly,
little
I'll give it to you for Oslin because I mean you've been on the sea and in it your entire life.
Yeah.
This is an old
That's true.
mariner's kind of an urban legend among mariners. This is a will o' the wisp. Literally a will o' the wisp. These are quote unquote undead that tend to populate areas that are suffuse with death. Sometimes they're malevolent, sometimes they're benign. It is hard to suss out one's intentions. Suffice it to say, they will always attempt to lead people somewhere. Whether or not it's a place you want to go is a roll of the dice.
I don't think that will harm us. It leads people places.
And if only had sent us here in the first place. Perhaps it's a messenger.
Or some sort of manifestation of his will.
That doesn't bode well.
Well, I'm going to let's just err on the side of caution. But
Preferably.
this is the only lead, right? So I guess we'll go.
Just keep your eyes peeled. Everyone.
Right. It could lead us to our deaths. It's 50-50.
Oh, if this kills us, that would make for a very good story, would it?
Count's putting all his eggs in the everything is predetermined basket.
Look, I mean, like
Considering it's a role-playing game, it's probably a good stance to take.
the motherfucker already beat death once, like.
I know. But anyway, you as soon as you kind of commit to following this thing, you see it blink out, and then in the distance you see it blink back on. As if
That's
that is
how
kind of
it'll
its.
lead.
That's how it'll lead, yeah. And you kind of follow it through this obscuring mist, which again, it's not so much the darkness that's the issue. It is dim, but it's just the fucking thick fog clouds that are kind of a pain in the ass. And as
This
you
place
follow,
is very dank.
Yeah, it's very dank.
Dank memes.
It's very stinky here.
As you follow this will-o'-the-wisp deeper into the island's center, which again, not a terribly big island, but big enough to where if you're probably in the center, you can't see the sea. But as you kind of make your way there, kind of climbing up some rocky bluffs and walking about these standing stones, Choir decides to smite his...
Sorry,
I was gonna say, when did Choir have warlock spells?
Those started as paladin spells, and then
Oh.
certain warlocks get them. I think it's a hexblade thing, but it's also a cleric spell too. But anyway, you continue to follow this this wisp. Kaun, roll me a history check.
Oof, that's not good.
It's all right. As you're walking, you see markings on some of these standing stones, sort of symbols of some description that seem kind of Shadowfellian in nature, but they are so ancient that you've probably never seen such things. You feel maybe a passing familiarity with one or two of them, but that's about as much as I can give you.
Sure.
Suffice it to
says
say,
go back. Do
Yeah.
not pass.
it says beware of ogre. But yeah, they are symbols that
Well,
are...
wait, are they a language? Because I can read any language.
Yes, you can. Okay, I won't... yeah, then they are vaguely a language in the sense
Okay.
that like they're kind of a symbolic language, like a
Wingdings.
hieroglyph sort of thing. They're wingdings. There you go. But no, they are kind of, you know what they are is they're magical characters, like Tinkerbell. No, like they are magical characters, like the kind of runes that you would see used in spell inscriptions. The exact translations, it doesn't particularly amount to much, on their own, but the more that you kind of see, that you can kind of piece together that this is a quote unquote sacred place to the Shadowfell, because these might have something to do with warding of some kind, protection, abjuration magic of some description, but without spending a year meticulously studying and piecing them together like the Da Vinci Code, you won't be able to know exactly what the fucking point is.
Yeah, I already spent like an inordinate amount of time researching and translating another book in
Yeah.
Codex. I don't think he wants to do that again.
Exactly, yeah.
It was an experience that's never going to repeat.
Yeah.
Right.
Not right now, anyway. But yeah, he will at least mention it to everybody that,
The glyphs,
that there are some sort of wards, or elements of wards.
Yeah.
I dare say this might even predate me. As in...
Original you.
Previous me, yes. We'll talk more about that later.
And as you kind of make your way toward the center again of the island, following this wisp, eventually it stops vanishing and just kind of stays put far in the distance. And the closer you get to it, the closer it becomes, until you find yourselves in front of a small barrow, a mound of earth with a carved kind of entrance. It appears to be ceremonial in nature, almost as if it's a crypt of some kind. And as you kind of approach, the wisp begins to grow almost, or it gets close. It grows brighter. And standing in the place where it was hovering, you see a visage of Ollie. Var, I didn't prepare you for this, obviously, because this apparition does not speak. The wisp. It has led you here. You know that whatever form or whatever reason Ollie is here, it is for this purpose to guide you here. And you see kind of a look of earnestness in their eyes as they kind of look over all of you and look back toward the crypt.
I imagine Count kind of like looks at the urgency in Ollie's face, looks off towards the crypt, glances at everyone else, and he kind of walks up over to the Wisp of Ollie, and he goes, "We've never met formally, but I thank you for this."
The Wisp kind of furrows its brows a little bit and then gives a slight nod. Roll me an insight check.
I was about to ask if I can roll an
That's
insight
what this
check.
conversation's gonna have to be.
Can I have a
15.
+9. Damn it!
I mean, you can
it
still
when
roll
you're-
it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Roll it.
Go ahead.
An 18.
Nice. 15, 18, honestly, both of you. There's a bit of hesitance. Almost as if to say, well, don't thank me yet. You know, as if the Wisp does not know what you being here means, but it has trepidations.
This doesn't bode well.
Honestly, anything connected to Shadowfell has its perks and drawbacks.
Besides, if Ollie is bringing us here, this is important.
Or what
Could be a
has asked Ollie to bring us here is important. I dare say my dear father probably isn't the type to just bury us underneath some sort of catacombs.
It may not be your father, but it could be something else.
I don't think we have time for another adversary. It's bad enough that we have two.
They also don't look like they're a part of this.
Yes, this looks
Well,
of its own accord.
their soul was intercepted on the way to the Raven Queen, so they probably didn't have a choice regardless.
Yeah, you see the moment that you say soul was intercepted, basically didn't have a choice. There's almost a little bit of anxiousness in the Wisp as well, because clearly, you know, a spirit is not meant to exist like this.
Is there any way?
Does Speak with Dead work with him?
Huh.
Because Ken has that ring that lets him do Speak with Dead once a week.
That's right. You can certainly try it.
He'll try. You know, he kind of flexes his one taloned hand. Ring kind of glimmers and says, "If you can attempt, if there's anything that you need to tell us, actually tell us. Try to speak."
As I try to type very quickly. Hold on.
As you tell Var to say something.
Oh, I don't know how to phrase this. All right.
You can make it in, I mean, it can be in riddles or whatever, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be in riddles,
I'm
but
sorry, Michael, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mostly did it just to ease Choir and V.
All right.
Aslan would just be like, "Fuck it, I rage."
They would have been dead for longer than 10 days, so Speak with Dead won't work, says Snowdogs in the chat.
That's a good point.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
we are playing a little bit of Calvin Ball, so I'll give you just a little bit here so that Ollie can say some last words. And you can ask me questions if you need to.
Ollie will take a deep breath, even though they don't have to. My spirit can't move on until this island is freed. And they'll look back towards the crypt and gesture. I'm bound here, just like the person in there.
I would be concerned about this person.
You can't be sure.
He shrugs. Regardless, we'll do what we can to free you. After all, it's the least that I think you should deserve for how much that you've worked to help us all.
I'll do my best to see your soul gets to the Queen.
No one wants to die.
No.
Oh, I know someone who would like to die.
Choir will kind of
Count kind of just chuckles to himself as he goes towards the crypt.
Thank you, Oli. We'll do our best.
We'll make it
The
right.
only person here that you really know is V. So is there anything you want to say to V?
You really did go into that suit. Can you send a message for my dear Samson?
Yeah.
This sewing sucks. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
You always fucking sucked.
Tell him that I've always believed in him and that he should continue, no matter how hard it gets.
I will.
And he can copy my works now. I'm not going to be needing it anymore.
I give him copyright claim.
I will DCMA strike him. Also tell him to respect the drip. Thank you.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Fucking hell.
Christ.
You say all this, V, you agree, and Ollie kind of fades back into this wisp form, as you all kind of begin to descend into the crypt.
What a fucking sad boy hours.
I know, I didn't expect this, but damn, that's good. It's what we need. Anyway, you make your way into the crypt, and when I say make your way, you're pretty much, once you've entered, you're almost
Welcome, this is the crypt keeper over there in the corner.
This gives me Skyrim
And
vibes.
laugh.
Oh no, it's much smaller and less fucking pointless crypt than Skyrim. You just walk in
Thank God.
straight down the stairs, and inside you find some ancient braziers that are no longer smoldering. Candles on altars all around, but of course in the center, a massive. It looks like an altar of some description that is almost completely encased in this amber-like crystal jutting out all over.
Alright,
in
Austin can break it.
Yeah, perfect.
I rage.
And in the center of this kind of amber, like I said, crystal formation, you see the form of a sleeping figure. It's kind of hard to make out, maybe in all the fractals, but the refracting angles, almost like a house of mirrors looking through this crystal. But you see a pale tiefling with straight horns lying in what appears to be eternal slumber.
Do I recognize the tiefling?
Cown.
This
Does
is.
Austin have the proper Minecraft tool to
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you
mine
need a
amber?
Sorry, V, say what you were about to say.
She looks like she just is sleeping.
Count, it takes a second. But an old memory, one that is not yours, floods to your mind of this woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a woman that he knew.
Well, we call each other I now, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, it's a woman that he knew, that you knew thousands of years ago.
Somebody that I used to know.
That you never figured out what happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
And yet here she is.
I imagine that he's looking, you know, through the fractals, and like his lips kind of quirk off to the side a little bit in a smile, and he just like walks forward, and he kind of reaches to kind of touch a hand to the amber, and he goes, "My perseverance." I told you we'd see each other again. One day.
And as your hand kind of touches this, you feel energy. And the rest of you can see the braziers begin to smolder to life. As from inside the crystal, you just see eyes flutter open very slightly. And as they do, the crystal shatters. And laying in that place, you see this woman, Count referred to as Perseverance, as she kind of sits up where she laid and said, "My gods, you've changed so much."
I hope you like it. After all, I didn't pick this look for nothing.
It's good to see you again, Degas.
And are you? And he holds out a hand to kind of help her up.
She will take it, and she will stand, and she says,
Yes, it is good for us to meet once more before the end of things.
Well, hopefully the end of all things won't happen. There's much that we need to speak about. And he kind of he looks back towards everybody else. There are many other traveling companions that I have now.
I know. I've been watching.
His brows kind of crinkle a little bit like that, and he goes, "Hopefully they've been good things that you've seen. Formally, I think we should speak about their friend that would probably like to move on."
Of course.
Are you gonna explain what the fuck is going on, or are we just gonna stand here and stare?
she kind of gives a little bit of a twirl, and the form of Ollie appears back in the crypt. And she just kind of looks to them and says,
Thank you, Master de Fleurs. That will be all.
Ollie, would you like to say anything?
Thanks.
Thank you for keeping me around long enough, but hey, maybe if I'll put in that I knew one of the Raven Queen's loyal subjects, maybe that will. No.
I'm sure if your spirit passes over the ship, that he'll screech at the top of his lungs and give you his blessing.
Hey, don't be rude. He's the reason I'm here. One of them.
I was going to say, don't discount what your sister did.
Oh, well, I died
No, I'm
along the
not.
way to help you get to that point. But Thank you for coming and vaguely releasing me.
Sorry we didn't come sooner.
And I'm sorry I didn't have the chance to meet you fully.
Oh, another thing. Can you tell Stool to eat well and
Fucking do what I ask? Jesus!
to pass along messages better if there's anyone wanting to ever talk to him? He's a sweetheart, but
A dumbass.
Not the best messenger.
He's a bit
he
touched.
has no.
Stool that little.
Toadstool? Yeah.
I thought that was a stuffed toy. All right. We will gladly pass along the message.
And Ollie, you feel relief as you feel yourself kind of pulled away. And the wisp of Ollie vanishes. She says,
I'm afraid that we don't have much time to catch up. For I have grave tidings for all of you.
Graver than the world ending?
Possibly. Though I summon you here to give you a gift.
His eyes kind of flutter at hearing a gift.
yeah.
One that will perhaps help turn the tide.
And with that, I think we're going to end it for this week. And I will say thank you for joining us on Gilded Tides. My name is Michael. I'll be I have been your dungeon master.
Gotta remind everybody how hot Perseverance is.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it to Jesse to take us out properly.
Hey everybody! That was on Gilded Tides. How many episodes do we have left? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're gonna reach the funny number. I bet you.
We're
No,
gonna reach the funny number.
We should.
I'll stretch it out a bit.
Hey everybody! So we're gonna be doing our sign off like usual. So what you need to do is you need to say who you are, say who you played, say your favorite part, and where we can find you. Those are all the questions that you must answer before I can release you. Let's start over with Thulian.